This is ABC 7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Trees in one Manatee County preserve are feeling the tight grip of the air potato vine.
The Terra Preserve has been facing this growing problem for at least the last year. ABC 7's Rick Adams is here now with details on the unique way the community is trying to tackle this problem. Rick?
Yeah, Haley and Scott, hundreds of air potato leaf beetles have been brought in. Folks at the Terra Preserve are hoping these little critters can get the job done. It's the invasion of the air potato vines, and it's threatening trees and plants at Terra Preserve in Bradenton.
These potato vines, the way they go after a tree, they just take over.
What you see up in the top of this tree right here is the air potato vine, and it's almost got that one choked out. Then we have some more over in this area.
Terra Preserve's field manager, Jim Kaluk, is leading the crusade to save the preserve from these potentially tree-killing vines. In partnership with the USDA, Florida's Department of Agriculture, and the University of Florida, 500 airleaf potato beetles have been released in 9 different areas of the preserve.
They actually trim off where all the leaves are at, and that way it will kill and have nothing but the vine, and then eventually the vine will die.
As you can see, these air potato vines have relentlessly and aggressively taken over the Terra Preserve. Time will tell if these beetles are any match for these vines. For folks who are overseeing this project, we're being told that they should know in a few weeks if this approach in tackling the air potato vines in the preserve with beetles is working.
This is one great green methodology of fixing this problem.
In addition to this fight against air potato vines, nearly 600 carp have been placed in the preserve's 54 ponds to eat away at the invasive plants that are underwater.
Instead of using a lot of chemicals, we're hoping that the carp take over for what chemicals that go into the pond.
And we're being told this could be the first time ever these beetles are being used in Manatee County for this purpose. Back to you.
Thank you, Rick. For the second year in a row, a popular fireworks show on the Suncoast is canceled because of wildlife concerns. The owner of the Beach House restaurant on Bradenton Beach is canceling the July 3rd fireworks to ensure the safety of Anna Maria's wildlife. The owner does not want to take any chance on doing something that would harm the rare nesting birds on the island. The show was canceled last year also because of the same concerns. The July 4th fireworks show at the Sandbar restaurant on Anna Maria will still go on as scheduled. After 40-plus years, the beloved waterfront restaurant on Longboat Key is closing. Patty George's restaurant has been sold to the Tampa-based Columbia Restaurant Group. It's best known for its seafood cuisine, particularly its Chilean sea bass and lobster tail. The current owners, the Clobber family, bought Patty George's from its founders in 1997. They're expected to close on the sale tomorrow, marking the end of the family's nearly 50 years of owning and operating restaurants on Longboat Key.
Questions remain in the wake of last month's failed attempt by the Sarasota Economic Development Commission to recruit a national roofing company's corporate headquarters here. The attempt caused frustration on all sides. ABC 7's Ray Collins set out to learn more about the situation, but found some of the same communication issues that some say caused the problem emerged again. Ray?
Yeah, Scott, the plan was new offices and 180 new jobs, but county commissioners voted it down. One problem, local roofers didn't think it was fair the EDC would give tax breaks to bring a competitor here. But a spokesman for this national roofer later said they wouldn't have been competing with local projects, just bringing the corporate offices here. None of this was clear, and frustration built on all sides.
No comment. I know. That's what I think. They don't comment very well. They don't bring themselves to talking to you. I realize they have a lot of non-disclosure things. They could have saved themselves the embarrassment, if you will, for the whole thing if they'd gotten into us sooner.
Communication is critical, and perhaps one might construe as there was possibly a misfiring of the spark plugs, the order of the firing of the spark plugs, but now we can look at it and see how we can make the process better.
A source close to the EDC says they had a board retreat last week, and the conclusion was better communication. But when we tried talking to the EDC chairman, Mark Huey, a few days later, he wasn't willing to talk to us. We went anyway with our rolling camera. You'll see that incident and more tonight at 7 o'clock. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. The city of Northport is hoping a lot more people will take advantage of the extended hours at Warm Mineral Springs this summer. The city launched a pilot program at the Springs back on June 1st, and it will end August 31st. The park is normally open 9 to 5, but during this pilot program, it will also be open from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. Those extra hours will cost the city close to $48,000, and to offset that cost, an additional 87 people need to visit the park each day. But right now, only around 24 extra visitors are coming to that park.
Some people in Manatee County are not happy with plans to build a new water park. Residents in Heritage Harbor gathered yesterday to discuss ways to protest the proposed development for Tom Bennett Park on State Road 64. They claim a water park is not what Tom Bennett envisioned when he created this green space. Residents have discussed writing a letter to the county commission, and they're also considering appearing at a commission meeting, plus hiring an attorney to try to block this construction.
Water park on a day like this sounds pretty good.
Sure would feel
Yeah.
good. Yes, it would.
Let's get over to Bob, find out more on what's happening outside.
Yeah, not much water falling from the sky this afternoon, as we saw yesterday with all the severe weather that moved on through. A little bit drier air in the atmosphere. On top of that, high pressure is for the most part bringing us this northerly push as opposed to an east to southeasterly wind. The east coast breeze is now making its way over in our direction. You can see that now moving through parts of eastern portions of DeSoto and Hardee counties. Just one lone shower now in Sarasota County. That's east of I-75, just south of Myakka State Park for the most part. It's not moving all that much. And as I said, the east coast breeze will start to fire up some other cells later on this evening. Again, some of those, one or two of those, will make their way toward the coast and kind of break things down a bit there. The temperature's still staying hot as a result of the lack of rainfall and those cool breezes associated with those gust fronts with those storms this afternoon. It still feels like 99. More in your forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. More than a dozen candidates running for office in Sarasota and Manatee counties have already won. They did not have any competition in their respective races. In Manatee County, there's a new sheriff coming to town. Current Chief Deputy Rick Wells will take over as the next sheriff once Sheriff Brad Stubbe retires in January. On the Manatee County School Board, John Colon ran unopposed and will retain his District 5 seat. And in Sarasota County, the current Chief of Staff for the Supervisor of Elections Office will take over Kathy Dent's role as supervisor. And with a busy election season already on us, Ron Turner says it is both a relief and an honor to take on a role familiar to him.
I had the opportunity to serve as supervisor before in DeSoto County before I moved to Sarasota County 16 years ago. So this is kind of it's a passion for me. I call myself an elections geek, and it's a role that I really care about and I'm passionate about.
Turner is a Republican and will take over his new role as Supervisor of Elections on January 3rd.
Taking a look at some other races that have also been decided, State Senator Nancy Dietert will serve on the Sarasota County Commission. And incumbent County Commissioner Charles Hines will also be unopposed for the office. Tom Knight will continue to serve as Sheriff of Sarasota County. And property appraiser Bill First retained his position as well. Former Republican Party of Sarasota County Chairman Eric Robinson will join the Sarasota County School Board.
A slight inconvenience for some golfers on the Suncoast. The city of Sarasota will close the American course at Bobby Jones Golf Club this Friday. All 18 greens on that course will be revitalized with new turf. The city anticipates it will reopen with the new lush greens in early October. Golfers will still be able to play the British course or the Gillespie Executive course during the American course's closure. It'll be worth the wait, I'm sure. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a reminder on how important it is to get tested for HIV.
How the Community AIDS Network in Sarasota is expanding to accommodate patients' needs better.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $329 or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and this Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
The Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix offers 2 full days of racing just off Lido. Aquacross Racing returns with more than 80 personal watercraft teams, along with 10 superstock boats, averaging 70 miles an hour. Then more than 30 powerboats take to the water, many topping speeds of 100. And don't miss the Boats on Main block party and meet and greet Who's in the Driver's Seat, events so you can meet the racers up close and personal.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150. Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease the bold new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 1.9% APR, just $419. Exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
The American Academy of Pediatrics believes teens should be screened for suicide risk.
According to the Academy's latest report, suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers. The original report was published in 2007, when suicide was the third leading cause of death among adolescents. It has since passed homicide and unintentional injuries such as drug overdoses and car crashes. The AAP is urging pediatricians to look for risk factors linked to teen suicide, which include a history of physical or sexual abuse, mood disorders, substance abuse in teens who may be lesbian, gay, or bisexual.
June 27th is National HIV Testing Day. ABC7's Alex Redmond joins us with information on why testing is the gateway to prevention and care. Alex.
Thanks, Haley. More than 1 million people in the United States are living with HIV, and 1 in 8 people don't even know that they have the virus. There are 50,000 new HIV infections per year in the U.S., according to CDC estimates. Florida's numbers are among the highest.
The Suncoast numbers are rising. The Suncoast has a great deal of senior citizens who are not being tested. Our young population, the numbers are growing.
CAN's Director of Advancement, Scott George, says education is the key to prevention.
High school children and junior high school children are not being informed about HIV, STDs, hepatitis C.
George says in order to provide services including testing to a growing population, CAN is expanding the existing building, adding 2 additional off-site offices, and has opened a headquarters in Palmetto. CAN's Education Department says George offers HIV testing in 8 counties.
We were involved in the St. Pete Pride Parade. We picked up a number of positive people in our testing van.
CAN's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Vilma Vega, explains the importance of knowing your status.
If you're negative, it's a feeling of, wow, you know what, empowerment. Okay, I'm negative. Well, I want to remain negative.
Then, says Dr. Vega, you can take steps to protect yourself.
What I call the ABC policy, which is the abstinence, be faithful, condom use.
If you're positive, says Dr. Vega,
you want to save your immune system for as long as possible. The earlier you get tested, guess what? You'll never die of AIDS. You're probably more likely to die of things like other complications of other diseases.
Getting tested is simple.
One of the things that people would have to do is fill out this paperwork in which you just put your details down here about your health, where you live, with a quick little prick of the finger. No, it didn't hurt at all. Not bad.
And now in the 2016 Florida statutes, it actually says that All physicians are testing for this during their initial physical exam. So if you go in for your annual exam, guess what? You're going to get all your labs plus an HIV test.
People says Dr. Vega should get tested.
Whether or not you were young or you're 90. I have had patients up to age 95 who are HIV positive.
And ABC7 just learned that AIDS activist and Sarasota resident Jack Cox passed away. Cox lived with HIV more than 30 years and was an integral part of CAN and a much-loved and respected member of the LGBT community.
And Alex, you mentioned that doctors will be often adding this onto the annual screening that you go in to have your blood work done. What if a patient doesn't want to have an HIV test added to that?
Right. If you absolutely don't want your test done, then there is an opt-out. So you just tell the doctor you want to opt out. But why on earth would you not want to empower yourself by knowing your health status? Because then you can protect yourself.
That's true. Thank you, Alex. Now we'll head over to Bob and get a check on our steamy forecast.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at the Anna Maria webcam now, showing clear skies over Bimini Bay and looking off into the Gulf of Mexico. A beautiful day out there out in the waters. Not many storms around like we had yesterday that were blowing up all across the west coast of Florida, for that matter. A few showers have been popping up west of I-75 near Englewood. There was one lone shower about an hour and a half ago. That quickly moved off to the west, and the one just east of I-75 is dissipating for the most part. There's not a whole lot east of that. However, the east coast breeze will generate a few more isolated cells later on this evening, but it looks like most areas should stay dry. A little bit drier air in place today than it was yesterday, and that is keeping the thunderstorm activity down to a minimum. 92 degrees, that's our current temperature. Dew point is at 72. It feels like a 99 out there. We have a north wind at 13 miles an hour. The high was 4 degrees shy of the record of 97, got up to 93 degrees today. And no rainfall to report today. We had nearly an inch at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport yesterday. 87 degrees in Jacksonville. It's 83 now in Orlando. 92 hot degrees at Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, 90 in Mayaca City, and 92 in Wauchula, 91 in Sebring, and Lake Placid at 91 degrees. The forecast RPM model showing and suggesting a few evening showers possible, pushing off into the Gulf. And then tomorrow, there's a chance we may see 1 or 2 lone showers push back on with that sea breeze. And then the bulk of the precipitation tomorrow will be inland, pushing off toward the east coast as our winds will kind of switch around more to a west to southwesterly direction. And that always favors mainly inland storms in the afternoon and evening. So we'll see that pattern persist too, I think, right through Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly even into the weekend with a few showers. Don't get me wrong, there will still be a few showers along the coast, but most of the storms in the afternoon will be along the spine of the peninsula and then pushing off to the east. What we have is a little bit of a trough of low pressure moving down. That's kind of bumping this high pressure ridge that had been parked to the east of the state down a little bit further near Cuba, and that will give us that west to southwesterly wind flow around it. You can see that trough of low pressure making its way through West Virginia now, all the way down into Tennessee and to the lower Mississippi Valley. And it looks like some of that rain could be heavy at times. Look at these temperatures. Actually warmer right now in Kansas City than it is here in the Suncoast. 95 degrees in St. Louis, but 74 in Minneapolis. So there is a little bit of a pocket of cool air over the upper Mississippi Valley, but 90 in Detroit, 90 in Toronto, 91 in Cleveland, and temperatures 105 in Phoenix. Not the 120 degree readings they were getting last week, but still very hot in the desert. South winds turn to the west tomorrow. Not much out there, 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 2 feet or less with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now 87, and a UV index at the beaches will be at a 10. And the forecast looks like this for tides upcoming. The next high tide will be at 6:36, a low tide at 1:47, sunset 8:29, and sunrise will be at 6:38. The forecast for tonight, a few storms are possible this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy. It will be into the mid-70s. If you're inland, mid-70s near the coast, upper 70s. And there could even be a few isolated cells kind of parking themselves off into the Gulf during the early morning hours. Scattered storms for the coastal areas, a slight chance of that happening late morning, early afternoon, and then the main focus will be inland in the afternoon and evening. South winds turn to the west at 5 to 10. The extended forecast calling for a little bit better chance for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even into the 4th of July weekend, with temperatures staying right around 90 degrees. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents right now, but traffic is still backed up on I-75 in Venice in the north and southbound lanes near North River Road.
It's expected to be a record-breaking holiday weekend for the number of drivers on the road. AAA predicting that nearly 43 million Americans will be traveling over the July 4th weekend, which is 5 times more than Memorial Day. It's also the largest amount of travelers on record and is 500,000 more people than last year. Big reason? Well, the low gas prices. Drivers have saved about $20 billion on gas so far this year compared to the same time period in 2015.
Pepsi is putting aspartame back in some of its sodas. Pepsi Max will be reintroduced this fall as Pepsi Zero Sugar, and it will contain aspartame. Diet Pepsi Classic Sweetener Blend will also have aspartame in it. The company removed the artificial sweetener from its products less than a year ago because of safety concerns. Aspartame has been linked to cancer in lab mice in some studies. Pepsi hoped that removing the sweetener would boost sales, but customers actually complained about the change in taste. What do you care more about? Your health or your, hasn't been proven to cause cancer in humans, but, there's
a lot of people are concerned.
That's right. Entertainment news is next.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we're ready to pepper our financial advisor with Brexit questions, plus Suncoast development updates, sea glass crafts, and mosaic in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
The ability to go to college on a Bright Future Scholarship gave me personally the flexibility to chase a dream. To not have to worry about paying for your college education was absolutely amazing. One step better than that was to leave with no loans. I mean, to start a life, to start a job, to start without having a debt was amazing, and it allowed me to get to where I'm at today.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
This year's Grand Prix race will feature 2 full days of racing with more than 60 aquacross teams racing personal watercraft and 10 superstock race teams averaging speeds around 85 miles an hour. There will also be more than 25 powerboat teams racing at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour in the production class. And in the extreme class, the boats top 150 miles an hour. You don't want to miss this non-stop race action off Lido Beach.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
Prince's family will have to wait a little longer to find out who will inherit his fortune and property.
Potential heirs and their attorneys were in a probate court in Carver County, Minnesota today. The judge did not give a ruling, but the judge will set rules for how DNA testing will be conducted to determine heirs. Prince did not leave a will and did not have any known living children. Under Minnesota law, Prince's sister, his half-siblings, and other potential relatives stand to inherit shares of the estate.
Former Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee is having to shell out some big bucks for the music he used during a political rally. You may remember last year, Huckabee played Eye of the Tiger by Survivor during a rally for Kim Davis. She's the Kentucky County Clerk who refused to issue same-sex marriage licenses. But Huckabee's campaign did not pay for the rights to play that song, at least not at the time. The campaign was sued for copyright infringement. An out-of-court settlement was reached to the tune of $25,000.
The Philadelphia home where Oscar-winning actress Grace Kelly grew up is now on the market. The 6-bedroom, 2.5-story colonial is listed for $1 million. The home was built in 1935 by Kelly's father, John B. Kelly. The house has been designated as a Pennsylvania historical landmark. Grace Kelly accepted a marriage proposal there from Prince Rainier III of Monaco in 1955.
Shaq has had many titles: basketball legend, Turner sports analyst, and now you can add diplomat to the list. The State Department making him America's sports envoy.
For some reason, sports and music is the one thing that makes everybody put everything aside. Disbeliefs, rules, laws, and being a top sports figure, it's amazing that the reach that the NBA has.
First stop for Shaq, he has taken that title now to Cuba. Shaq is leading a basketball clinic for kids there, showing how sports can develop academic, leadership, and teamwork skills. He'll be in Cuba until tomorrow. I can't think of a better ambassador.
I know.
He's wonderful.
He is great, and he has such a loving personality that I think he really brings people in. And
plus, he's huge.
He's 7'2"? You're just going to listen to what he says. Yeah. We'll be right back.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go. Don't miss the 32nd annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival, June 25th through July 4th. This year's festival features a kickoff party at the Sarasota Yacht Club, Boats on Main block party, 2 days of aquacross and powerboat racing off Lido Beach, bayfront fireworks, and so much more. Produced by and benefiting Suncoast Charities for Children. For festival info and VIP race day viewing tickets, visit SarasotaPowerboatGrandPrix.org.